TIFU by cleaning my son's 13 meters bedroom and finding my girlfriend's 31F dirty underwear. Let me start by saying she is not his mother. As any parent does. I tell my son to give me all his dirty laundry. Mostly so I don't have to touch it. So I can wash them for him. One day he was not home. So I went into his room and grabbed his dirty laundry. I notice a balled-up towel in the corner of his closet and I just grabbed the end of it, thinking it was just a towel. Nope. Out falls two of my girlfriend's recently worn, dirty underwear. I stand there coming up with crazy scenarios in my head for a second, like, must have gotten caught in the towel when he was done showering, or maybe it got messed up in the clean laundry. Then the realization hits me that our laundry basket is in the bathroom where we shower. All I could say to my girlfriend was, "We are about to have a weird conversation and I'm sorry." I pull out the underwear and say, "I found these in." Insert son's name. Room, and her jaw just drops. I didn't know what else to say besides, "At least we know he likes you." Now it is a little weird and quiet around my house. The worst part is, I don't know how to bring it up to him. TLDR. Found my girlfriend's underwear in my teenage son's bedroom when I was just looking for laundry. Now there is a weird silence when my girlfriend encounters my son. Yeah. You might want to wash those extra good. If you took them and didn't tell him. Believe me, he knows. The first time he went to grab them and do whatever it is he was going to do, and realized they were gone. At that moment, he knew. It's awkward to talk about, but as the father you really need to strike while the iron's hot here. He needs to know how important boundaries are, especially because he's in his formative years. You defo don't want this to become recurring behavior. Hello friend. I have a dad that is very bad at communicating. So much so that we can't have a normal conversation for more than a couple minutes. This all started when I was in my early teens, getting into things that he didn't know how to connect with. One day he found texts describing sexual acts I wanted to perform with my GF at the time. He was furious, drove me to a dark park and parked the car, and proceeded to yell at me. I never truly understood why he was upset until years later, because he didn't properly communicate with me. I would not avoid clear communication. If you try to avoid the awkwardness, your message could get lost in translation of however you try to broach the subject. Sit him down. Tell him exactly how this makes you feel, makes her feel, and ask him how he feels. Proceed to set boundaries and encourage him to talk with you. Ask him if he needs a minute to process his feelings. I'm not this way, but I know many people that need to figure out their feelings before being able to talk about them. Lastly, don't approach this from a place of anger, distrust, or aggression. It will instantly shut down the conversation and turn it into a lecture. Make sure it remains a conversation so you can lead him to the correct thought process. I.e., stealing is bad. Invading privacy is bad. Consent for sexual acts is mandatory. Communication is of the utmost importance, etc. etc. Your son will thank you for it later in life. Edit. Clarification of background. Edit 2. I'm really glad my first award comes from a place of honesty. Thanks friends. Son. It's time you learn some responsibility. If you want my girlfriend's used panties, you save up your allowance, subscribe to her OnlyFans, and buy them like everybody else. I've never had a "that's enough internet for tonight" moment. But this comment thread got me there. Congrats everyone, job well done. Don't just think of it as having an awkward conversation with your son. You're also showing your GF that you're on her side and teaching your son to respect boundaries. Offer to get him his own panties. At least we know he likes you, is probably a pretty bad thing to say in that situation. Son, I grabbed your laundry today and panties fell out of the towel. Can we discuss this? At least we know he likes you. Dude, WTF, is this a porno scene and you're just pranking us? I read a bunch of the comments and I agree with the ones that say that you, as a parent, have the responsibility to say something to him. Leaving it as a, you know that I know, situation leaves too many loose ends. As a teen, he needs your definitive guidance. Leaving it unspoken just leaves more questions in his head. I also think it was a bigger violation with them being dirty underwear versus stealing her clean underwear. You don't need to punish him. No more masturbation for 6 months. The talk is deterrence enough for similar behavior. That's the best option. If this was a multiple choice test, there would be an option for the obviously bad advice. That option might something like, eliminate your son because he has now been identified as a close proximity male competitor for your girlfriend. Don't do that. Also, it's time for him to do his own laundry. He's old enough to jerk off with your GF's undies. He's old enough to do laundry. Aside from all the obvious convos about needing to have a talk, this can become real creepy real fast if GF was on a path to becoming part of the family. So, maybe wanna figure that out too while you're at it. Please have a talk with him about boundaries. People who tell you to just ignore it are enablers. Whatever you do, please update us. He find her stuck in the dryer? If I was the son, I'd pretend that I had a thing for wearing panties. It's honestly the less embarrassing of the two most plausible scenarios. I feel alongside bringing it up. There needs to be a conversation about boundaries and how what 13-yo did was a violation of your girlfriend's privacy and personal space. It's important to set the precedent that taking anyone's dirty underwear or clothing is not acceptable. It's not a big deal he is masturbating. It is a big deal that he is taking someone's underwear to do it. Keep an eye on the underwear. Say nothing to him. Then when he's 25, casually bring up over dinner with his girlfriend.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.